Well, good evening, everyone. I didn't hear that introduction, so Mr. Hattori, I just want to make sure you can hear me. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Examiner.
All right, thank you. All right, everybody, I am going to call this meeting to order. This is the October 9th, 2024 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. My name is Andy Kotkamp, and I've been appointed by the City of Pasco to serve as a land use hearing examiner. My job is to render decisions on various items that are authorized to come before me, which include in tonight's hearing, um, there are special permits, there's rezone applications, zoning determinations that are to be made. There's a preliminary plat matter and a request for a special permit extension. Those are the items that we have on the agenda for today. I have um, what I do is I hold hearings on the merits of these proposals. Um, I gather up all the evidence in order to formulate my decision. The hearing process does have certain rules. I'll still try to conduct the meeting in a relaxed and informal manner, but we still have a procedure we're going to use. Each item will take separately, and for each item, staff will present their report and make whatever recommendations that they wish to make. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representative is given an opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. The applicant does have the burden of proof to show compliance with all the applicable rules and regulations. Next, if there's a member of the public that came to testify on a matter, you'll be given that chance to do so. And if there is any testimony in opposition to the project, I will give the applicant an opportunity to submit whatever rebuttal testimony they wish to submit. Because the applicant has the burden of proof, the applicant gets the last opportunity to present testimony and evidence. Now, if you are going to testify, I'll have you come up to that microphone in the hearing room, and I'll have you state your name and address. And if you're going to give evidence, I will swear you in as a witness. I'd ask that you keep your testimony relevant to the application that we're talking about and not the issues beyond the scope of the proposal. I would remind everyone here today, this is not a time for questions and answers. This is the time for you to present your testimony, a factual testimony as to why the project does or does not comply with all the applicable rules and regulations. I have the option following this hearing to keep the record open if I think there's a need for additional written testimony to be submitted. But in any event, my written decision will be made within 10 working days after I close the public record. Now, except as provided by the City of Pasco Code regarding requests for reconsideration, my decision on each of these matters, well, let's just say uh, each of the first 4 items on today's agenda, uh, those decisions will be final and conclusive unless they are appealed. Appeals are by means of a land use petition action, and they have to be filed within 21 days of the date of the issuance of my decision. And if the appeal isn't timely filed, the appeal would be barred. Now, on the last 3 items on today's agenda, those are a zone change request and 2 zoning determinations. On those matters, I make recommendations to City Council. City Council makes the final decision on those. This is the open record public hearing, so this is the only time that you have to submit your testimony and evidence regarding whether or not the zone changes or the zoning determinations comply with the applicable rules and regulations. When this matter gets to the City Council, it's a closed record hearing. There is no more public testimony, and the City Council will be able to review the items admitted into the record at this hearing, and they will make the final appealable decision on those matters. Now, I've reviewed all 7 items on today's agenda. I don't have any interest in any of the properties or the proposals to be heard today, and I will be able to fairly and objectively consider each item. And then outside of receiving and reviewing the staff report for each item, along with all the exhibits, all the file materials, I've not had any communication regarding any of the items that are on today's agenda. So with those representations, if you do have an objection to me serving as the hearing examiner for any of these items, if you have an objection, you need to come forward and state so at this time. All right, not seeing any movement. I will turn to the first item on today's agenda. This is application HE 2024-007, which is an application to extend the time allowed for compliance or completion of a special permit SP 2023-015. For the record, I'll admit into the record the staff report and all the attachments to the staff report into the record at this time by this reference, and I'll turn this matter over to Mr. Hattori for whatever staff presentation you'd like to make.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. To provide some background information on this project, the subject site is 1310 Road 36, parcel 119-491-122 on the western side of Road 36, south of West Court Street, and the property is zoned C1 retail business. The applicant has requested an extension to the time limit condition to obtain certificate of occupancy for the issued special permit to be considered valid. The extension would be for an additional 180 days. On Wednesday, November 8th, 2023, a proposal to operate a church facility within an existing commercial warehouse structure located at 1310 Road 36 was heard by the hearing examiner, specifically project number SP standing for Special Permit 2023-015. A subsequent decision of approval with conditions was issued on November 16th, 2023. In those conditions, number 7 of the approval stated the special permit shall be null and void if a City of Pasco occupancy permit is not obtained within 1 year of special permit approval. This sets the date of special permit expiration to November 16th, 2024, should the applicant not receive certificate of occupancy for the specially permitted church use. City of Pasco staff received a request to extend this expiration date by 180 days. The request is due to a few unforeseen factors claimed by the applicant party, including contractor availability to assess the structural integrity of the existing building, and delays in receiving responses from structural engineering firms to finalize design submissions. The applicant party has stated that they are making progress and are close to finalizing a design and anticipate submitting the final design for review within 30 days of the memo dated October 4th, 2024 by Brian Jolma. With that, staff recommends approval of a 180-day extension to special permit 2023-015 for a church facility located at 1310 Road 36 in Pasco, Washington.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hattori. Is there the applicant or the applicant's representative that wishes to provide any testimony?
It does not appear they are present.
All right. I rather didn't expect anyone to be here. Was there any member of the public that came to testify on this matter?
No, sir.
Nobody making any movements? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the record on this matter. I will have my written decision made within the next 10 working days. We have the next item on today's agenda. This is a preliminary plat application. It's given application number PP 2024-006. Again, this is a request for a preliminary plat approval to create on 3 parcels, 71 lots. This relates to property located within the City of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. I'm going to admit into the record at this time by this reference exhibits 1 through 13 that are referenced in the staff report. Exhibit 14 will be a comment by Mr. Saunders dated October 8, 2024. Exhibit 15 will be the staff report itself, and I will once again turn this matter over to Mr. Hattori for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Before I get started, I wanted to note a few inaccuracies in the staff report. On page 2, item 4, land use and zoning, it is detailed that the property is zoned R1, low density residential. This should be R3, medium density residential. And on page 5, item 1 of the approval conditions, it lists Guardian's Nest subdivision. This should be Crossings at Pearl Street subdivision.
All right, that went rather fast. So what was the first one? On page 2 at the top, number 4.
Yes, under land use and zoning, it lists R1 low density. It should be R3 medium density.
All right, where's the next one?
On page 5, on the first approval condition, it says Guardian's Nest subdivision. This should be Crossings at Pearl Street subdivision.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, yeah. So this is Project PP standing for Preliminary Plat 2024-006, the Crossings at Pearl Street subdivision. The proposal is located on 3 properties, parcels 113, 460, 160, 113, 460, 161, and 113, 460, 162. At the western end of West Pearl Street, bounded by the BNSF Railway property. The property is currently zoned R3 medium density residential, and the combined area of the parcels is approximately 6.29 acres. The applicant wishes to subdivide the 3 parcels into 71 individual lots and construct or expand roadways and associated improvements. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property, published in the Tri-City Herald, and posted on site on September 25th, 2024. This site was annexed into the city of Pasco in 1949 via Ordinance 0649. The underlying future land use designation for the site is high density residential, which allows these lands to be developed with a variety of residential housing at a density of 21 dwelling units per acre or more. The proposal is for a density of approximately 11.3 dwelling units per acre if you go off of 1 lot equals 1 dwelling. Given the zoning and unique location of the proposal, staff believes the density meets the intent of the comprehensive plan. The proposal contains a variety of lot sizes ranging from 2,125 square feet to 6,706 square feet. The lots are intended to be used for single-family attached structures such as 0 lot line dwellings or row homes. Given the constraints presented to the site, a proposal for a roadway including 42 feet of public right-of-way with 9 feet of access/maintenance easement on each side has been determined to be sufficient. A pedestrian access easement is, my apologies. Due to the number of dwellings and access points proposed, the applicant must obtain at minimum an easement for a secondary emergency vehicle access, also commonly known as a SEVA, to meet life safety codes. With that said, staff recommends approval of the Crossings at Pearl Street preliminary plat located on parcels 113, 460, 160, 113, 460, 161, and 113, 460, 162 in Pasco, Washington, with conditions as detailed in the staff report dated October 9th, 2024.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hattori. I appreciate your presentation. I've reviewed everything several times, and I do not have any questions for you. Is the applicant ready to proceed on this matter?
Good evening, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Oh, okay, thank you. Your name and address, please?
Nathan Mashila with Barghausen Consulting Engineers, 400 Columbia Point Drive in Richland, 99352.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, please. Glad it's not the left hand.
Yep.
Sir, do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, Mr. Mashila, are you here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I am here on behalf of Story Family 5 LLC for development of the property. Thank you, Mr. Hattori, for your presentation.
Let me ask you a couple more questions.
Oh, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
A few more questions just to get some stuff out in the open. Have you had a chance to review the staff report?
I have, yes.
Do you have any disagreement with any of the representations in the staff report as corrected by Mr. Hattori?
Nope, I agree with everything that he presented so far.
And as corrected, do you have any objection to any of the proposed conditions of approval?
No, we do not.
All right. I'd like to get that out of the way before we begin. Now, sir, what would you like to tell me?
Well, basically just reiterate what you just asked. Everything then, the conditions of approval has been reviewed by us. We agree with it. We believe it's accurate and have worked with the city on that, all the conditions of approval. So there's no additional changes that we're requesting or that we need. I did want to note on item number 13, the developer shall obtain easements for and develop fire turnarounds and a secondary vehicle turnaround. That condition, so the developers purchased the property from the Pasco Housing Authority. Pasco Housing Authority owns the property to the west and to the south. We are in communication and working with the Housing Authority for those easements for that SEVA road. They have agreed to dedicate easements on their property to accommodate this SEVA requirement. And so there's no issue with showing and providing that secondary emergency vehicle access as required by the city. And then on number 14, the mid-block connection shall be added to the design as shown in figure 4. That also, just because it's not shown in the map, I wanted to make sure that we are okay with that revision as well. And so the final plat will not be exactly the same as what is represented here in front of you, but it'd be substantially similar to what we have with that southern road, just moved up slightly to accommodate the length requirements as determined by the city code. Other than that, we appreciate all the work that the city has done. We don't have any other questions or concerns on the development, and really here to answer any other questions that you may have.
Well, I appreciate your presentation. As with Mr. Hattori, I've reviewed everything several times, all the comments, all the agency and public, and I don't have any questions for the applicant at this time. I appreciate your being here today in your presentation.
Thanks.
If there is any testimony in opposition, I will give you a chance to respond to that. I'll turn this over to the public now. Did any member of the public come to testify on this matter? If so, you just need to come forward and state your name and address for me. I don't see any movement. Anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right. So folks, what I'm going to do is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I'll have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. And we will turn to the next item on today's agenda. This is a special permit given application number SP 2024-014. This is an application for the New Beginning Church. This is proposed to be located on property located within the city of Pasco. That is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. Now, for the record, I will admit into the record that staff report, the application materials, the noticing documents, the comments that have come through, agency comments, there's site plan drawings, there's photographs of the area. I'm going to admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And it looks like Mr. Barragan, is that pronounced correctly? This is your matter, correct?
Correct.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Before I begin, I would like to point out an error in the report. There are 2 owners for the properties affected, not one as mentioned in the report. This is page 2 under proposal section. With that, this is for project SP 2024-014. SP stands for Special Permit, the New Beginnings Church. The proposal is on 3 separate tax parcels under 2 separate ownerships. 745 West Court Street, parcel 113-394-257, and parcels 113-394-266, and 113-394-275, located at the northeast corner of North 7th Avenue and West Court Street. The properties are zoned Office District and R3 Medium Density Residential District. The site contains approximately 0.64 acres. Applicant Ronald Hu wishes to operate a church facility in an existing commercial brick structure located at 745 West Court Street. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property, posted on site and posted in the Tri-City Herald on September 16th, 2024. The site is developed with a 3,542 square foot brick commercial structure built in 1972. The worship area is approximately 1,836 square feet. The project proposes to utilize an existing commercial structure for a church facility and 2 vacant lots to the north for off-site parking. Churches and off-site parking lots are listed as unclassified uses under PMC 25.200.020 and require a special permit to operate. Per PMC 25.185.170.2, 19 parking spaces would be required for a 1,836 square foot worship area. The R3 medium density residential district area measuring 50 feet by 170 feet to the north of the building appears to provide sufficient space for on-site parking. With that said, staff recommends approval of a church facility to be located on the south 50 feet of lots 1 and 2 and all of lot 7, block 2, North Poplar addition to Pasco at 745 West Court Street, parcels 113-394-257, 113-394-266, and 113-394-275 in an O office district and R3 medium density residential district with conditions as stated in the October 9th, 2024 staff report.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I just want to be very clear on one thing. You indicated that there needed to be a change on page 2 of the staff report where it said 1 owner and there's actually 2 owners. Can you specifically again point this out to me? I didn't write it down. I wanted to listen to the rest of the report. So where is this again?
Of course, Mr. Examiner. This is on page 2 under proposal on the second sentence.
The site consists of, under the same ownership. So there'd be, instead of same ownership, there's 2 owners.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, is the applicant ready to proceed? Good evening, sir. I'll have you state your name and address for me, and I'm going to ask you the same questions that I asked the last applicant, just so you're aware of that. So your name and address, please.
Pastor Ronald D. Hoff, 1717 West Brown, Pasco, Washington.
All right, sir, I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me, please. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury of the laws of the state of Washington that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Pastor Hoff, you are the agent of the property owner today, property owners, is that correct?
Well, sorta, because they're not here, but I'm speaking. Oh, praise God. They're here. So,
Are you authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner today?
yes.
All right, great. Have you had a chance to look at the staff report?
Yes. And I
Do you have
agree
any
with. Go
agree
ahead.
with it? Okay. And there are some proposed conditions of approval. Do you have any objection to any of those?
No, I don't, sir.
All right, I'd like to get that out of the way as I indicated before. Now, sir, what would you like to tell me about this project?
Well, we've been looking for a church home for about 15 years, and we've been doing our best to serve the community while we've been going to and fro other buildings trying to have a church home. So we're doing what we've been called to do, and we're here to change minds, change hearts. We're about reaching out to our families, friends, and others with the word, and giving to those who don't know Christ Jesus, to help them come into a right relationship with him. This is all going through proclaiming the word of God, teaching the word of God, and testifying the word of God, and showing the love of God.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Pastor?
If you have any other questions, I do have our building fund manager here to acknowledge those questions, if you have any.
I don't. It's a rather straightforward project, so I don't have any technical questions like that. So
Okay.
I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening. I'll turn it over to the public now. Was there any member of the public that came that wanted to testify on this matter? All right, not seeing any movement. Is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So Pastor Howe, what I'm going to do is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing, and I will have a written decision for you within the next 10 working days.
Thank you.
The next item on today's agenda, this is also a special permit. It's given application number SP 2024 015. And this is a request for a special permit for the construction and use of a butane blending facility within an existing petroleum storage and transmission facility that's located within the city of Pasco on property that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. Now, for the record, I'm going to admit into the record exhibits 1 through 9 that are admitted into that are referenced in the staff report. And then exhibit 10 will be the staff report itself. And I will turn this matter over to Mr. Hattori again for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Yes, this is application SP standing for special permit 2024-015, the Marathon Tesoro Butane Blending Facility. The proposal is located on parcel 112-580-020 on the south side of Sacagawea Park Road. The parcel is a part of a larger development addressed 2900 Sacagawea Park Road. The property is zoned I2 medium industrial and is approximately 5.78 acres in size, and the applicant proposes to construct and operate a butane blending facility at a site with an existing petroleum products storage and transmission facility. The proposal involves the installation of a single 60,000 gallon butane storage tank, 1 truck butane offload station, a single butane pump, and consolidated injection skid with 3 injection lines. Notice of the public hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet, published in the Tri-City Herald newspaper, and posted on site on September 25th, 2024. Pasco Municipal Code PMC 25.120.040 relating to conditional uses within the I2 medium industrial zoning district lists petroleum or petroleum products refining as a conditional use requiring a special permit. The subject parcel and adjacent lands are largely undeveloped. While the Snake River is located to the southeast, the project lands are located outside of the shoreline jurisdiction and is not subject to the regulations of the SMP. The site's primary access is directly off of Sacagawea Park Road. The total facility operations have existed on site and on the neighboring parcel for many years. Staff was unable to locate documents relating to its initial operations and construction, but it is believed to be in the realm of many decades. Staff recommends approval of a special permit for the construction of a new butane blending facility located on parcel 112-580-020 with conditions as detailed in the October 9th, 2024 staff report.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I'll turn this over to the applicant. Is the applicant present today? Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I'll have you state your name and address for me for the record, please.
My name is Chris Coop. My address is 6051 Wallace Road Extension, Wexford, Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, thanks for coming out. How do you spell your last name, sir?
It's K-O-O-P.
All right. All right, Mr. Coop, I'll have you raise your right hand for me. Sir, do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. And sir, you're here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And as I've asked the other applicants, have you had a chance to look at the staff report?
Yes, sir.
Any disagreement with any of the representations within the staff report?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. And have you had a chance to look at those proposed conditions of approval?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objection with any of those?
No, sir.
All right. So, before we start talking about the Phillies and how they're doing, what would you like to tell me about this project?
Well, I do have a prepared statement.
Sure.
So I'm Chris Coop. I work in government and public affairs for Energy Transfer Marketing Terminals. I'm here representing Energy Transfer, the applicant of the Pasco butane blending project, on behalf of Mauricio Palin, who is the official applicant and the project manager of the project. Unfortunately, Mauricio Palin was unable to attend the hearing this evening due to a family emergency, but we felt that it was important to attend and offer clarity or insight or answer questions to the best of our ability. I'm also here this evening with Mr. Dan Anderson, who is the terminal manager of the Marathon Pasco terminal. Again, to answer any questions that you may have to the extent we can and to the best of our ability. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Andrew Hattori and other city staff who were involved in the preparation of this particular application over the last several months. We realize it's not every day that this type of special use permit comes before the city of Pasco, and so we appreciate your interest and the ability to ascertain the very technical nature of the project. And so I think the application before you represents a complete and thoroughly vetted special use permit that represents an added capability to the existing use of the facility. And so we are here seeking approval for the special use permit, and would be happy to answer any questions, again, to the extent that I'm able to.
Yeah, I appreciate you filling in tonight very much. As with the other matters, I mean, the staff report and the materials submitted with the staff report were very thorough. I think I understand the project enough to issue a decision on it. It's the first time I've ever had a butane blending facility in my 30 years of being a hearing examiner. So obviously these are not common things to happen, but it's not happening in downtown Pasco, so it's probably why there's not a lot of people in the room worried about something like this. But I don't have any questions for you, Mr. Coop. I'm happy you came out, and it was nice meeting you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, you're welcome. I didn't see many people in the hearing room, but was there anybody there for the public that wanted to talk about this matter? All right, and is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right. So then, Mr. Coop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing, and once again, I will have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. We'll turn to the next item on today's agenda. This is a rezone application. It's given application number Z2023-008. This is a request to rezone a piece of property located within the city of Pasco from a C1 to an R4 zoning designation. I'm going to admit into the record exhibits 1 through 10 that are referenced in the staff report. Exhibit 11 will be the staff report itself. Just remind everybody here today that I just make a recommended decision on this matter. City Council will make a final decision. We're just looking not at the underlying project, but at the rezone criteria is what the hearing examiner is going to be looking at. So exhibits 1 through 11 are admitted into the record, and I'll turn this matter over to, looks like Mr. Hattori again for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Yes, this is Z standing for Rezone 2023-008, the Gisi Water Tower Apartments C1 Retail Business to R4 High Density Residential Proposal, which is located on parcel 116-140-050 in Pasco, Washington, on the east side of Road 76 between Sandifer Parkway and Wrigley Drive. The property is currently zoned C1 Retail Business, which has limited options for residential construction, and the site is approximately 2.52 acres in size. The applicant has proposed to rezone the parcel from C1 to R4, the purpose of which is to allow in the future residential development of the site. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property, posted in the Tri-City Herald, and posted on site on September 25th, 2024. This parcel was annexed into the city of Pasco from Franklin County in 1981 and designated the RT Residential Transition zoning designation via Ordinance 2388. A subsequent rezone occurred in 2003 to C1 Retail Business via Ordinance 3615, and the site has remained the C1 zoning and has remained undeveloped since. The site has been designated the Mixed Residential and Commercial designation, which allows for R1, R2, R3, R4, C1, and O zoning, which allows for development between 5 to 29 dwelling units per acre. Staff would like to note that the proposed rezone does not include a project action. It is anticipated that should a rezone be approved, a subsequent development project may be submitted for review. The review would include requirements for the impacts it has on the level of service for parks, transportation, etc. Any and all development proposals would additionally be required to adhere to Pasco municipal codes and standards, including provisions such as connectivity and residential design standards. With that said, staff recommends that Lot 2 of Binding Site Plan 2019-03, otherwise known as Parcel 116-140-050 in Pasco, Washington, be rezoned from C1 Retail Business to R4 High Density Residential.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hattori. I do not have any questions of staff. Is the applicant here tonight?
The applicant is unable to make it tonight. They did reach out and let me know that they wanted to be here, but something came up at the last second, and regretfully, they will not be able to attend.
All right, thank you very much. Did any member of the public come to testify on this matter? All right, then what I'm going to do is I will close the public record portion of this hearing, and I will have a recommended decision made within the next 10 working days. The next two items are similar in nature, but we'll take them separately. These are zoning determinations. This one is ZD 2024-001. This is regarding the Valdivia Annexation and a request to have an initial zoning of C1. I'm going to admit into the record the materials that were forwarded to me, which included the staff report and the site plan site plan drawings for the area, zoning maps, comprehensive plan maps, photographs, the application materials, and noticing. I'm going to admit all those items. Indeed, I'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference and turn this matter over again to Mr. Berrigan for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. This is for project ZD 2024-001. ZD stands for zoning determination. This is for the Valdivia Annexation zoning determination. The proposal is located on parcel 119-051-197 on the northwest corner of Road 44 and West Argent Road, just north of Interstate 182. The property currently carries the county zoning of RS20 suburban and has a future land use designation of commercial within the city of Pasco urban growth area. The proposed zone for this land is C1 Retail Business District. The subject parcel is approximately 0.16 acres in size. Owners and applicant Macario and Imelda Valdivia have proposed to annex into the city, the purpose of which is to expand commercial opportunities within the city of Pasco's urban growth area. Public notice of this hearing was posted in the Tri-City Herald on Wednesday, September 18, 2024. Notice was posted on the property and mailed to property owners within 300 feet of the property on September 16, 2024. The City Council is scheduled to consider an annexation ordinance for approximately 0.16 acres of land generally located northwest of Road 44, Argent Road intersection on November 16, 2024. The subject property is currently undeveloped. Properties directly to the north were rezoned to C1 Retail Business District in 1981 through Ordinance 2259. With that said, staff recommends designating C1 Retail Business District zoning to the Valdivia Annexation area, comprising of approximately 0.16 acres located on Parcel 2, according to the survey recorded under Auditor's File Number 1840267, Records of Franklin County, Washington, Parcel 119051197.
All right, well, thank you very much. Turn this over to the applicant. Is the applicant present and wish to testify on this matter?
The applicant is present but does not wish to testify.
All right, that's just fine. Is there any member of the public that wished to comment or testify on this matter? See nobody moving. So what I'm going to do, Mr. Applicant, is I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I'll have my recommended decision made within the next 10 working days. I'll try to get it out as soon as possible so that it is ready to be reviewed by City Council at their the scheduled hearing. The last item on today's agenda, this is also a zoning determination given application number ZD 2024-002. This is the for the Shumway matter for a zoning designation of C3. So for the record, I will admit into the record the staff report that's been prepared, all the application materials, the noticing documents, the photographs, site plans, zoning maps, and comprehensive plan maps. I'll admit all those items into the record and turn this matter over to Mr. Hattori for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Yes, this is application ZD standing for Zoning Determination 2024-002, Shumway C3. The proposal is located on parcel 124-320-057 at the intersection of Columbia River Road, Taylor Flats Road, Clark Road, and Road 68. The proposal is specifically for 14.94 acres, or a portion of that parcel that is 14.94 acres in size at the southernmost area of the property. This property is currently located within Franklin County jurisdiction and carries the Agricultural Production 20 acre, otherwise known as AP20 zoning designation. While the subject area for tonight's zoning determination is 14.94 acres, the total area of the parcel is approximately 111.52 acres. The subject area is designated within the City of Pasco's Comprehensive Plan future land use map as commercial, which allows the O, BP, C1, C2, C3, and CR zoning designations. The proposal for this land is C3 General Business Zoning District. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and posted on site on September 16th, 2024, and posted in the Tri-City Herald on September 18th, 2024. The City of Pasco City Council is scheduled to consider the annexation of these lands on November 16th, 2024, and the subject property has historically been used as farmlands. That said, staff recommends that should parcel 124.320.057 be annexed into the City of Pasco, or that portion of it, that the C3 General Business Zoning be assigned to the Shumway Annexation area.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hattori. Turn this matter over to the applicant. Did the applicant or applicant's representative wish to offer any testimony tonight?
Good evening, Mr. Examiner.
Your name and address, please.
My name is Peter Harpster. Address is 10211 Cottonwood Drive, Kennewick 99338.
And how do you spell your last name again?
Harpster.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, please. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
All right, and sir, you're here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to review the staff report?
I have.
And do you have any disagreement with any of the representations within the staff report?
I do not.
All right, sir, what would you like to tell me then?
I'll try not to repeat what Mr. Hattori already said, but a lot of the same. There's 6 different potential zonings that can be applied to this parcel, and we've requested C3, one of the allowable zonings. The site, as Mr. Hattori mentioned, the entire parcel is approximately 111 acres. We are looking to only annex in the portion that is hatched, as that's the portion that is within the UGA boundary but not yet annexed. So the intent is for that portion to be zoned C3, annexed into the city, and the remaining portion of the parcel will stay within the county limits and will stay designated agricultural. Other than that, just would like to thank staff for their time and efforts on this application. We submitted it 6 or 7 months ago, and it was a little complicated in the beginning with determining should we do the segregation first or the annexation first, and figuring that out with both the county and the city. And so I appreciate the time spent on that, and I don't really have anything else to add.
I'm glad you came in. Thank you very much. You did add some good information. Thank you very much, Mr. Harpster.
Thank you.
Was there any member of the public that came to testify on this matter? Okay, not seeing any movement. Anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing, and I'll have my written decision made within the next 10 working days. That was the last item on today's agenda, so I appreciate everybody coming. I'm now going to adjourn this October 9, 2024 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your week and a relaxing weekend, and I'll see you next time. This meeting's now adjourned.